Welcome back, everybody. Another great tuning episode. Something I think a lot of you will be interested in. I know I am. I get a chance to max out a turbo, which is pretty rare. Usually, it's the fuel system or something else goes. But we have Curtis's car. He had a different set of wheels. We changed them out because our dyno is being above ground. The back gets strapped down a lot and usually doesn't clear when you have aggressive wheels. Those are his wheels right there. They definitely would not fit. But we did not build Curtis's car. We are diagnosing it for various issues and fixing it. This was done at a different shop. The tuning aspect just didn't work out, so he's come to us. So basically this has a MS bottom end, sleeved with I-beams and whatnot. He has S2 cams, supposed to be oversized and ported, I'm not sure. But he has a 3576 GTX and tubular map manifold, and he's got I guess 3.5 inch intake. He's got 1700 call. He's got 1700 cc injectors and a dual walbo 450 with hop switch and intake, intercooler, the whole works. He's got a unknown clutch. I've never heard of this before, and basically that's it. The clutch feels okay. We don't know long term how it's gonna hold up, but so far it's good. It's a little chattery, but the car drives good. All the issues that he was having with the previous tune has been ironed out. And today, like I said, I'm gonna see where this turbo tops out. All right, let's do this. So a few stipulations. Customer asks that I do not cross 32-33 psi. That's my cap. And one of the biggest things is he has a 3-inch intake. I would prefer on these turbos 3.5. But let's do our best. So there was a lot of breakup. There's definitely coil issues. He has GTR coils, but they're not like authentic from Nissan dealer. They're aftermarket GTRs. A lot of them work, a lot of them don't work. I don't know about these yet, but I'm definitely gonna have to play with the ignition system and the coil settings. This is on 22 psi, which is wastegate. Still got a lot of work to do in the boost region for fueling. This one's significantly different because I did change the coil dwell time a little bit on that, but let me change the graph so we can actually see everything. I'm going to remove the first one because it wasn't a proper run. These coils have different, well, require different coil settings in the GTR. The first one that I did, I actually used the GTR setting that I normally use, and it didn't like it. I had to lower the dwell time in order for it to get it right. But he actually hit a lot more boost. First one was 22. On this one, he hit 25, 26 without me even doing anything. So those coils held back the potential of the spark energy, so which affected the turbo. So I did one more run just to iron everything out, which I forgot to press the button for the camera. But this is it for 93. This is what he's gonna have. Now we're gonna switch fuel and do E85. So this is around 27 pounds, and everything else is the same. Just scale the injectors. This is on very high ethanol content, which you have to play with the fueling when there's very high ethanol content for wide open throttles. This is on 28 pounds, but tapers down to like 25 by red line. Adjusted my vec a little bit, still playing with fuel, and then I think now I'm going to start to lean on it. And I got to keep in mind that my cap is 32 psi. That's what the client wants. This is around 28, 29 psi. I'm trying to smooth out the timing, and then because we did a few runs, the fuel is mixing now. The ethanol content is changing, so I'm having to constantly adjust that as well. But I really, really wish he had a larger intake. These turbos really need a bigger one, and he's got the regular 3-inch. So this is at 30 psi, and it tapers down to like 25, 26 by red line. I did increase the rev limiter a little bit. His car is built, so we do want to see where the turbo stops making power. On the next couple of runs, I'm going to try to aim for 32 and iron everything else out. So this is around 32 pounds, and it tapers down to like 27, 28. And we're almost there. I dialed in the feel, and I'm just going to do the timing a little bit. But again, I'm feeling it. I have to run a really high wastegate just to keep up the top end of the boost, and it's still like 27, 28. I would like that to be 30, but I think the intake makes a huge difference in this scenario. But let's see what we can get out of this. So this is the same boost as before, just cleaned up the AFRs just a little bit more, and then added 1 degree. He's running moderate timing, and I think this is it because I would have to cross the 32 psi limit that he set me on. But this car feels really good. If I hit it early, it spools really well. The system works, the setup works, everything is good. Only thing I would change about the setup is the intake and the clutch, but I don't know what the clutch is going to do in the future. I am very curious, so this is probably a good experiment. So this is what he made in comparison to 93 and E85. As you can see, there's a 100 horsepower more than that difference. He would do more. He has plans in the future. We'll take that up when it comes. I want to take this opportunity to discuss a couple of things that I've noticed on the groups and whatnot. So I'm going to show you the VD Dyno version of this. I don't typically use VD Dyno because I don't have to. I have access to a dyno, but I do have to use it when I do to e-tunes. And not because I want to see what power I'm making, but it's just a comparison to where I was before the tune. Is just a tool. But a lot of people put a lot of faith in these, but I just want to show it is pretty accurate when done correctly. And this is done correctly. There's 25 horsepower difference, and you got to take that with a grain of salt. But I just want to point out a couple of things to look for when you do look at VD dynos. Number one thing about VD dynos to get right is the data that you're gonna base on the logs that you pull, and sometimes it's messed up. I noticed that when I'm on the dyno versus street logging, a lot of this time the street logging gives you bad data, but on the dyno it never does. The things that I've circled on the screen is basically what you should be looking for when you're looking at other people's VD dynos or your own. You have to put those corrections in. One is a barometric pressure, which basically you can pull off your logs, and if you see something that doesn't have that, that's not using a correct correction. And the smoothing should be around 5, and I'm not making this up. This is from the person who developed this dyno program. But as you can see, it's the curve and everything else is pretty close. And I'm not trying to knock VD Dyno. It's a great tool. I use it all the time, but I'm just saying, when you do use it, just make sure you set it up correctly. And if you don't know how to do that, there's a whole thing of it on almost, every platform. Just follow what you need to do. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I really appreciate all the love that I'm getting. It is difficult to do, to run a shop, and I wear multiple hats. But I've been answering everybody's questions, the ones that I can, and I'll straight up tell you that, hey, I don't know what's going on. But don't forget to subscribe. Just keep in mind what you're going through. It's a process. It's usually the same process for almost everybody, so don't lose hope. I'm here to help, but just be aware of my time and what I'm doing. If I don't get back to you immediately, I eventually will. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, be kind.